Oh well, um, to be honest with you people, if there's anybody watching this, I have a plan for today. This morning, I decided I have a plan. All right, so this is how what we're doing now. I am awake. Dawn prayer is offered, established, and I was going to talk to you. I was going to talk to you. I was going to be talking with you about a few things. And would you like a cup of tea? Um, what I was going to talk about is important to me, so I have to take this from the bottom to the top. Um, I am willing to tell you everything, and then you will have a little trailer for next evening time episode that's coming up later on. If that is what happens, you never know about the future, really. So what I was going to say. Now, this is what I think. I had the chance to sell a few games that couldn't work with the 32X and the Mega CD together. They were imports. I had to sell them, and I decided to pick up this game instead. Starfighter 3000, and it's not the model name 3000, it's the year 3000. This game was published between 95 and 96, and still it's a futuristic game. Um, I really enjoyed playing it. For me, it was right up my alley. It was the kind of game that I really liked. I like the space shooters on 32X, like Dark Side, Star Wars, and Silver Assault. All those games take part in black space, pitch black space. But this is like I was with Starfighter here. Um, I made a move to learn how to use the controllers. And actually, it was just, I was flying around like an exercising flight. I had three ships to go, three lives, speak, three hearts. If you lost one, you had to restart what you were doing. And then you go over and over again. And I must say, I wasn't listening much to the briefing of the objective of the actual first mission, but the idea that was there, that one was able to fly around without enemy fire. It was a great sense of freedom, and like even though I didn't get far, when I realized there was a button for maximum velocity, like to step on the gas. What happened to me was I started to be flying around and crashing 3 times in a row. So I didn't get far, but the actual experience of having been part of that atmosphere, flying around like this, it was really, really, it was really good. And I think it's one of the best gaming experiences that I've ever had. It was also one of the most affordable because I sold those games, got some money, and I bought this game instead. And some of the money went to part of the order that was Shockwave Assault, which I haven't tried yet. But remember this game. If you go to conceptentertainment.se, they have chosen some pictures for you from moving pictures from eBay, or you can just browse around what happens, see what happens here on YouTube. Well, but it's a really good because it gives you the freedom of just relaxing and having an experience, regardless of you win the game or lose the game. If you fail the mission or you win, complete the mission. Well, it doesn't matter for me. It was such a good feeling to sit around playing it for a wee while, and I have decided that later on. I was planning yesterday before, but I was planning yesterday to read the manual for once, and maybe not next time I play. I won't go so hasty through the briefing because the briefing is good if you can be bothered listening to it. Because it's not like it is at Burning Rangers that you can get assistance as you go. You need to get the information briefing before you and before you have to get into the plane and fly. But it's a really good experience, and I hope other people which which like who I mean who likes gaming can have some happiness with this game because it's not really a famous game or anything, but the price is often in the lower section of affordable games. And this is complete in box, by the way. The plastic folder that's extra here, this wrap was provided by the actual store. But we have the manual in here, and we have the game also. Starfighter 3000 is a brilliant idea, and to see it develop in the future would be really interesting for me. So I only want to get into it when I feel I have the time for it because it's, as I realized playing yesterday that there is some need prerequisite that you need to be prepared when you play it. But then again, flying and crashing is not such a big time. It's not a life and death issue. If you like crashing and play, you can keep on doing that too because that is an experience in itself. Well, so what I'm saying, this is having a good morning, are you? This is no. Then well, I don't know. I was trying to provide something for you here, which is a little bit different from before. And well, now this is what I think. I'm also, I'm also listening to this album today. John reminded me or tipped it, gave me some tips, and he said, "Go for this one." It's Brian Eno. It's from 1973. Funny story. Funny story. The Birds album we were listening to yesterday was also from 1973. Uh, but this is Brian Eno, and I had only heard him before, when the sway and ambient kind of sound that was on um, the Train Spotting soundtrack, which I love. But with the studio album, it's a bit different. Actually, the elements of pop and rock is very much involved here. It's just that it's a bit in a world of its own. It doesn't try to be catchy or anything. It's just it's a bit working with reverb and stopping and starting the recording back and forth, and then there is some rocking guitars. But the the drum and the rhythm patterns you use here, they are both simple and intricate at the same time. I know it sounds weird. It's just like listening to Eno this way. I will be getting more into the album later, but it reminds me of about that thing I was talking about earlier with the Beck album Midnight Vultures. The Midnight Vultures album. It's from 1999. My favorite game music. It's like it's offbeat but it's wonderful. So that's like they play around with how to structure a melody. It's very different from other albums, but it's not noise pop. It's just it's different. That's what it is. Reverb is used. Strange harmonies are used. Some percussion instruments repeatedly are used, and I mean that makes for a special experience. I don't know if I could say it's a 5-star record, but it's not bad. It's like a 3.5 or a 4, something like that. Anyway, what I was going to tell you also was that at the next evening time episode, evening time with 32x thing, I'm going to do another evening time on a 32x thing, and this was yeah was virtual racing was what we played last time in the middle of the week, but this time I'm going to go back to Tough Man. I'm gonna explain why it's a really good game because it is a good game. It wasn't expensive either, very affordable. And then again, I'm gonna play a bit on why I think it's a good game, but a very difficult, challenging kind of game. I mean, if you get into it better, one can win, one can go draw, one can even enter a tournament. But it takes some time, I guess, and I haven't really played it as much as I would have liked because it's not a colorful game that makes me not to think too much about it. But I mean, it has delicate details also, like lions in the background moving and blinking like this. Because the 32x version enables nifty graphic details, and how it was playing it I will take up again this evening because evening time it means this is an evening show, while having a good morning no it's a morning show. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. So this is what I think. This the 32X platform is underrated, and also the Starfighter game for Saturn is a really good game. And the experience is really nice. I mean, even if you don't get far, it's nice to fly around like that. The freedom of just moving around. It's like when you run around when you're one of the children in Nights into Dreams. It's also a fantastic experience. But it seems Starfighter is more or less an unknown game to many people. Maybe it's because it's in the low range of the. It costs like say two 249 in Swedish currency, and that means maybe £30 or £25. I think you should try and get it. And what I'm saying about Brian Eno, that is little bit different. It doesn't mean that it's a bad record, but it's also very different from the train spotting soundtrack. It's not the same kind of recording, but I mean, I like it anyway. I'm listening to it right now. I don't know if you can hear me listen to it, but I'm listening to it. So this is me signing off for this morning. Good, having a good morning now. And this the main topic today was Starfighter 3000. And I will read the manual later today or in the evening before I fall asleep. Something like that anyway, because it's worthwhile trying. And it's not expensive. Since I sold things that didn't even work on my system, it's not like I care about it, what I should spend my money. I decided to spend on this game, and part of it that was over from the business we made. It was put on Shockwave Assault, which will be interesting as well when I get into that. But for the evening with 32X, we have Tough Man later on. So that I think is very important for you to know that this is a 32-bit title, and it's very, I mean, it's flexible, it's pretty fast, it's got a dynamic, but it's difficult to learn how to win because I had to read the manual and we'll have to do it again because it was a long time since I played it. I played it when my niece was here once, and she said I'm not that good into boxing, but you know it was still an important title for me to have at home, even if it's difficult. I'm going to talk about that later on, and that was all for having a good morning. No, today, and it's Sunday, April 14th, 2019. Thank you.